Gone. Well met, lords and ladies, and welcome to the Throne Room. This is episode 6 of the video game podcast that may forever change your fealty. I'm your host, David Klingel, and I am joined by my other noble video game movie aficionado, Anre Borges Brown.
Hello, everyone.
How Touchdown! And we are also joined today by a very special guest. So, a very warm welcome to the hand of the dark, Peter Hollman!
Thank you. Appreciate that intro.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Also, I don't know how... Anre's an Eagles fan. I don't know if you watched them. Saying touchdown after an Eagles fan last season.
I'm doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
It's actually a joke, and I didn't think he caught on to it yet. It's because I only do it because I know they don't get touchdowns.
Yeah.
I don't think... No, I didn't know that. What's up, Anre? How are you doing?
Doing great. Had a pretty... normal week. The only thing exciting was the NFL draft. I am an NFL Eagles fan. And we did move up to select Devonta Smith. Devonta. One of them.
Devonta.
And very, very excited about that. So watched the draft. Pretty excited. Happy. Played some games. New game Returno, PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Oh.
Second true PlayStation 5 exclusive since Demon Souls, technically, since Miles Morales is available on PlayStation 4. I really love this game. It is not crazy difficult, but it is hard. It does take some getting used to. It is a game that is unlike very many other games. Even though it is a roguelite, it is still extremely unique in how it sets everything up. And I'm just really enjoying it. Once that first time, you really do have to set aside 2 or 3 hours to play.
To get through a run, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't stop in the middle of a run. You can't save. So you don't want to do that to yourself. You don't want to, leave early and come back. You're getting up. You don't want to do that. So once I got a chance to do that, I beat the first boss actually earlier today. The first boss of the first little biome there. It took me it was my second time I beat him. Beat him on my second time rather. And
Man, I am super excited to play this game, and I'm glad that you're speaking so highly of it. It is a game that I've really been looking forward to ever since I heard about it. Unfortunately, I don't have a PS5. I cannot enjoy in the activities that you are involved with, as well as everybody else on the planet besides me. But I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I've heard it's a mix between, what did you say? Bloodborne meets Dead Space meets...
the atmosphere of Dead Space, the action adventure of kind of like a Bloodborne, but more like Resogun mixed with Bloodborne, third person somehow. It's very nice.
Awesome.
Housemarque outdid themselves.
And Housemarque is the people that did make Resogun, right?
Yeah, Housemarque made Resogun.
That makes sense then. Yeah, man, cannot wait to play that title. Really looking forward to it. What about you?
Really, when you play it, real quick, that's really what it is. It's like a bullet time because the enemies are
bullet hell
type weapons. It's like a third person bullet hell type game. Yeah.
Man, I cannot wait. Peter, what about you, man? What's going on in your world?
Well, first of all, I bought a condo recently that closed on 17th.
Oh, congrats, man. Very cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really excited.
That's awesome.
I can start moving in after that. As far as gaming is concerned, like always, I play League of Legends with my friends, so doing that. As far as like console gaming right now or games outside of that, I actually picked up Pokemon Sword because I was originally going to go to a reserve weekend, was going to take my Switch with me. I mean, it's a Pokemon game, it's okay. And I've been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy VII Remake on my PlayStation.
Awesome.
Because I also don't have a PlayStation 5.
Okay, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one. Yeah. What day is this? Touchdown! Okay.
I definitely a few months ago was like, well, am I going to get my COVID shot or a PlayStation 5 first? And as I get my second COVID shot on Thursday, I'm gonna get my COVID shot first.
Okay, all right.
How are those related?
Well, they aren't. But
did the COVID shot cost like $500?
It was free for me, but
no, it's free for me as well.
Okay,
but no,
it's free for everyone. I'm trying to figure out the correlation.
Well, there's no correlation other than COVID is causing the shortage.
Yes.
Yeah.
The chips that.
The chips, yes.
Yeah. So if you think of it that way, it's two things that I'm trying to get, but COVID. Well, one of them because of COVID, and one of them I can't get COVID.
I understand. Yeah. I understand.
You're trying to be. You're trying to be the example. You're trying to lead the chip horse makers to chip horse drinking water, right?
It was a question you posed to yourself. Which one will I get first? Now I understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a decision you made. No, these things. You were just wondering.
I was wondering. Yes, I was.
Well, I could have told you the answer to that one.
Man, I don't know about. I would have picked a PS5 if I had the opportunity to choose.
Yeah.
But they were basically like, "Nah, man, you don't get a PS5. You get a COVID shot. That's what you get." And I said, "All right, well, I'll take it."
Yeah, I mean, it's better than not being able to.
Yeah, this is true. Well, I played a lot of Sword. Is this your first time playing Sword? Pokemon?
Pokemon Sword.
Yeah,
okay.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good Pokemon title. Now, I did skip quite a few in between where it was. I played Pearl, I think, was the last one. And then I played Sword. But I really enjoyed it. I really liked the English element, the British kind of element they brought to it, because with the heavy Japanese influence throughout most of the titles, I thought it was really cool to bring a different type of region, which brought a different type of art style to the game. So very cool. I think you'll really enjoy it as well.
Yeah, I like it, but I do want to say it's unbelievable how lazy Game Freak is with this game. Like, there's no voice acting.
Uh-oh. Talk about it.
The textures are
Man, that reminded me of old school days, man. I'm like, this is great.
Bro, you're Game Freak. You've been making billions off of Pokemon for like 20 years, and you can't hire voice actors for your Switch game?
That is, you pose a valid point here, Peter. I mean, maybe they could, maybe they didn't want to. You ever think of that? I don't know.
I blame the fans. Every year, the average Pokemon fan, not every year, but whenever they release, the average Pokemon fan buys like 1.3 of these games. Yeah. All right? Either they get one or they get both.
Yeah.
And Game Freak is like, hey, look, we'll just keep making money. We'll take Pokemon out that people love. People will get mad, but we don't care. Voice actors, no, those cost money.
I think it really depends on the type of person playing it too, right? I didn't buy Pokemon Sword to hear Ash version 2.3 talk and shit, right? I bought it to bash another Pokemon's head in with a water geyser, right? And that's all I bought it for, and to trade it with people, and I don't know.
You can have both.
You can have both.
They have the resources. That's basic. They do have the money.
Yeah, that's mostly my point. Is that it feels like a Nintendo DS game on the Switch.
Okay.
Which is fine for these like indie games, like these smaller games. There's a game called Wargroove, made by the people who made Advance Wars.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's fine. They have, this indie level budget, so they have an indie level game, and you can still have great gameplay. But whenever you're like literally the richest, they're not actually the richest, but one of the richest game studios in Game Freak, right? Pokemon's made just unbelievable amounts of money. Yeah.
I'd love to see the numbers. I don't have them, but I'm sure. Yeah.
You can afford it, and it just feels like they're skating by, because again, like Anre said, the fans are letting them skate by. If they had a drop in sales, then maybe they would fix it, but they're not going to, because it's Pokemon. It's the biggest like brand in the world. I think it's outsold Mario now. I can't remember. I remember it was like either one or two behind Mario, and I don't know if it passed it.
That'd be impressive because Mario is something of a whore. Yeah, he'll go in anything.
He will.
Filling out with Rabbids and Ubisoft and go down the wrong
except
holes.
for Pokemon, we haven't had Mario catches Pokemon yet. So.
This is true. I wonder why.
Yet. They're waiting on that. That when the dip happens that you're talking about, that's when Nintendo is going to be like, "Hey, Game Freak, here's a shot in the arm."
They're saving it for.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I know that I'm well aware of. If you build a Pokemon game, they will come.
Yeah,
they will come, and that's the problem. Stop building them. All right. So, that being said, I've been having some carpenter bee issues. Do you guys know about carpenter bees? Because I didn't.
No, I don't like any bee that has a distinction.
Yeah, man. These things just were big and buzzing. I was like, it's a bumblebee. I'm going to leave you alone because you're going to go pollinate stuff, right? But no, sure enough, in the backyard area on the porch, the roof I have, they started drilling these holes. And now, these holes, they're perfect holes, man. Perfect. And I would think a drill would do it, not a bee, right? Because they're so perfect. And, at first it was just one in there. And I'm like, okay. Christy said, hey, are those bees making those holes? And I was like, no, that's probably there. It's probably been there. Somebody probably just drilled a hole in it.
Bees don't make holes.
But that doesn't make sense, right? So, sure enough, these bees started multiplying. And then the next day, there was like 4 more holes randomly. Now, they're perfect holes. Crazy. So, I figured out you got to kill these things. You get this foam stuff that expands inside the wood and kills them. And then I got this trap, and there's like 12 of them suckers stuck in there because they go in and they can't get out. And then I had to get this plastic wood stuff to cover up the holes. So, man, been fun learning about carpenter bees, and they're not your friend. They don't build stuff. They destroy stuff. All right, so I've been dealing with those guys, and then I've been playing some Nier Automata, and we talked about that. We just did an observatory of that. I've been enjoying more of it since then. It's been good. And then Peter, here's a game I've been playing a lot of and really enjoying that I heard that you really loved as well. And it wasn't a game that I didn't think I would enjoy, but I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I am, and I'm loving it. And it is Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yes. The Dark Souls of RPG games.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
when you play it correctly.
Yeah.
When you play it correctly, I hope you're playing on Classic.
I'm playing on Hard Classic right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's solid.
Yeah.
Maddening is aptly named.
Okay. Yeah. I believe it. I mean, I'm in a difficult position right now because the game has been progressing pretty well on the difficulty track, right? I've been playing Hard Classic, and it seemed pretty easy, but now it's starting to seem kind of difficult. I'm assuming it's just, and I love that. That's great. But I just did, if you remember, there's this big battle with the 3 houses, a second one.
Right, yeah.
And
the battle of the...
And there's all these flyers and shit now.
The battle of the eagle and the lion.
Yes. That is
what was that again?
The battle of the eagle and the lion.
I love the name.
Yeah, newsflash, Eagles lose. Anre.
So who did you choose?
No, I'm playing the Black Eagles, so the Eagles won. I was being funny with it.
I mean, they're the best.
Okay. I heard that they're one of the most difficult to play.
Yes. So the final boss is hard.
Okay.
We'll say that. I will say, so Golden Deer is also really good. Blue Lions is kind of set up as the anti-Black Eagles.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. The one thing that I will tell you that is not a spoiler in any way is make sure you talk to Edelgard every month.
Edelgard.
Whenever you explore, your house leader.
Yeah, which one's it? Oh, her. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I talk to her all the. She's my girl, man.
Make sure you talk to her when you explore every month.
Silver Queen. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Talk to her every month. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been trying to exhaust all of that stuff. So every time I explore, I try to do everything possible before I'm like, all right, I think that's everything. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, do I really want to search for every item in every nook and cranny this time? Yeah. And sometimes I do. Yeah. Most of the time I do. And then sometimes I'm like, nah, it's okay. I got tons of money. I'll be all right.
Yeah. It just depends. I definitely try to spend my, professor point or level points or whatever. But
definitely. Yep.
Who's the developer of Fire Emblem?
Let's pull up the. Let's see.
I should know. Intelligent Systems.
Intelligent Systems.
Intelligent Systems. You heard it.
Yeah.
All right. Intelligent Systems.
Anyway.
IS. Can I call you IS, please? Please put this game on PlayStation 4, 5. Come on, man. Like, look, I know the Switch is doing well and everything.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn to be jealous.
No,
I would love to play this game.
I have been loving this game. I really have, and I love the like Hogwarts style houses. It's fantastic all around. I've really been enjoying this game way more than I really thought, and I knew I was gonna like it. Right, I knew I was gonna enjoy it, but man, I'm loving this game. Is what it is.
I would definitely do at least a Golden Deer playthrough after you're done.
Cool. Okay.
I
plan on doing another one anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
On Maddening?
On Maddening, probably. Yeah.
All right. Maddening is.
Maddening.
I've beaten the game on Maddening. It is very hard.
Okay.
So the biggest change, other than like crazy levels and speed that they give enemies, is that whenever reinforcements come, they move the turn that they come.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm already like, when the reinforcements come in, bro, I'm like, all right, whatever. I wasn't right? And then I'm like, all right, I'll deal with it. Fine. You three, Edelgard, you take those dudes down there and whatever. Right. And then you're like, okay, right, this is what kills me, man. And then you'll be like, all right, got them. They're gone. Let's get you back up to the group. Let's keep the group moving, right? And then they come more of them. And you're like, I should have left them down. Why are they just keep coming? So man, yeah. No, it's good. Okay, and so that would suck if they automatically came up the stairs and then they're like, oh, no, I'm just gonna.
And then they get to move the turn.
Yeah, it sucks. All right, but anyway, we're getting lost on this. We need to have a roundtable discussion on Fire Emblem Three Houses as soon as Anre plays it. So we will get there. Loving the game, everyone. This episode is dedicated to our guests, Peter Hollman here, and it's all about esports. So Peter, what is your story, bro? How did you get into competitive gaming?
Okay, well, man, this is a long story. So probably the first like competitive gaming that I ever watched was like back in 2005.
Okay.
There was MLG, which stands for Major League Gaming. It's a U.S.-based organization.
I knew that one.
Did you?
I did.
They ran. I mean, I guess they're still around. They ran at the time. They ran Halo 2 was like the premier game.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah.
And
no, I do remember real quick playing a bunch of Counter-Strike through doing leagues on MLG through Counter-Strike as well. Yeah. Okay.
And so Halo 2, for those of you who are younger than the three of us, was the first online console shooter that was actually really played.
You're right.
It had a dedicated online matchmaking. So like, if I was reasonably high ranked in Halo 2, and I didn't actually really attend any tournaments because I was still a minor and my parents wouldn't let me. But it was
not a Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Hollman, if you're watching this, Peter could have been Ninja.
Yeah, that's true. Ninja actually got a start as a Halo player.
As a Halo player, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So whenever Ninja got big, I was like, "Is this the Ninja who used to play Halo?" Like, because he
rebranded and stuff probably, and
No, I mean he didn't really rebrand.
Okay.
Like he just switched into streaming full time. He was always streaming, but like he went from competing and streaming on the side to streaming full time. But yeah, so there was also Super Smash Bros. Melee was being shown, so I'd watch those too. And then I joined the military in 2008, and like I would occasionally watch it. I didn't really play. I played Halo 3 a reasonable amount, but like not to the level I played Halo 2. And I still would watch it occasionally, but didn't watch a whole bunch. And then, stopped playing Halo as much. Was playing World of Warcraft during like the 2010 to 2012. And then this game came out called Starcraft 2.
Ooh. Yeah.
And as you guys know, StarCraft 2 is StarCraft 1 was a rather big deal in Korea. Or probably.
Man, I played the crap out of StarCraft 1, StarCraft Brood War. That game is a competitive game. Yeah.
It is. And so StarCraft 2 kind of got me into watching it again. And then I actually had the fortune of being sent to Korea. I actually got to watch GSL finals while I was in Korea. So that was.
Did you go in person?
I did, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I was in Korea.
That's nice.
So that was sick. And you know, like I'm never like, you know, really trying to go pro or anything. I just like find it fun to like compete and try to get as like good as I can. And you know, like with anything, it's enjoyable to, at least to me, it's enjoyable to watch people who are very good at something. You know, especially when you with any sport as well. Like I played tennis throughout high school, and whenever I watch tennis, I feel like I probably appreciate it more than people who don't watch tennis, because like I understand how impressive some things are to do, basically. And I feel like that's something that you get whenever you play the game at like a reasonably high level. You understand how
sense. That makes sense. When you see two high level athletes or even two teams doing something, it might look easy. Like you see, you know, Venus and Serena Williams knocking down the tennis ball, knocking back and forth the tennis ball. And you're thinking, you know, okay, yeah, that's good. And when you see outstanding plays, you're like, oh, that's impressive what she just did. But then when you actually go out in the tennis court and you play it, no, everything that they've done was actually super mega impressive, because it's actually very difficult to have that lateral quickness.
Yeah, and it's more of like it's not that like you just see more things that are like you said, it's more things that you see are impressive, but also like some things that people
a critical eye.
Yeah, some things that some people think are like super impressive. You're like, no, that's actually not that crazy. Like the
right. I think it really helps, real quick, honestly, when you play the game, right? Like you're someone who does, you know, the ins and outs of this game. So when you watch these people who are playing at this impressively high level of skill, you can see it or not, right? You're like, okay, I know what you're doing is very impressive, or I know what you're doing isn't. So it makes it really easy nowadays to have something that people play competitively, even on a lower level than these higher level players are doing, right? There's still and that's another cool thing too that has been implemented, I think, right? That I just thought about was they're making tiers for people to play competitively. You don't have to be the best, and you can still play competitively and still have fun, right?
Right. Yeah. So so continuing my story, we can get into the tiers for competitive.
Yeah, there you go.
Play as well. So continuing my story. So after StarCraft 2, I got into a game called Heroes of New Earth. If you haven't heard of it, then it's understandable. So back in the day, there was this Warcraft 3 mod called Defense of the Ancients. It was the most popular mod of all time. You may have heard of its successor, Dota 2. Basically, companies realized they're like, okay, making a Dota clone that's standalone is the way to make a ton of money. And they were obviously correct. And 2 games came out basically at a similar time. One of them was called Heroes of New Earth, and one of them was this small game called League of Legends. And so I went to Heroes of New Earth because a friend of mine in the military had played a lot of Dota 1, and he started playing Heroes of New Earth because Heroes of New Earth was a more direct clone, and League of Legends was more like more of like inspired by, right? If you go into movies, the inspired by a true story versus based on a true story level. And so I went to Heroes of New Earth, and then my same friend who got me into that got me a early Dota 2 beta key, which those things were like selling for a ton of money. But he apparently like indirectly knew Ice Frog, who's like the guy who balances Dota. He got me an early beta key, and I started Dota 2. And I played Dota 2 for about 10 years or close to it. Now on and on, taking some breaks on it. And so continue to watch that. I also will watch, and I don't play a ton of it, but I'll watch Counter-Strike tournaments. I'm not very good at it. The game is impossible, but it's a very easy game to appreciate how good people are at.
True. That's a good way to put it.
Even if you've just played any shooting game, you can see how good they are at aiming, see the coordination from a team shooting game. So that's a game I watch. I still watch Super Smash Bros. Melee tournaments as well. One of the oldest games that still gets played as an esport. It's fun. So
that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
And then recently, we've obviously been in a worldwide pandemic, and a lot of my friends from Baton Rouge are all playing League of Legends. We're all playing League of Legends, especially because like they're friends of mine from Magic the Gathering. And so they're like, hey, we should all play League of Legends together. And I was like, well, I play Dota, but like I swapped over just because we're constantly have like 5 people to stack with and stuff. A lot more fun than playing with people who are my friends, but like I only know them from Dota versus like, nah, these are people I know them for a while, I hang out with outside of that. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and you couldn't convince them all to come to Dota too.
Yeah, that's a little bit asking
after I assume you've tried.
Yes, asking 20 people to swap is a little bit different than asking one person to swap.
This is true.
Now,
is it necessarily swapping, or is it that you can still play Dota, right?
I still can play Dota. The games feel a little bit different, despite being very similar. One of the biggest differences is that Dota, the characters in Dota move like in real life.
Move like what now? Say again.
They move in real life. In that, like, if you're running in a direction and you want to run the opposite direction, you have to physically turn around, and that takes some time.
Right.
Characters that are casting spells have cast animations, and that they have to do something, and they're different based on the character. Whereas in League, it's like more instant, and then obviously you're talking about like 100, 130, 50 characters that each have 4 abilities you have to learn. They have all these different things, so it's not really. I don't know. I also just like I work a full-time job. I don't exactly have time to play.
Right. So would you say that you think between the two of them, would you think that League of Legends is more instant gratification and Dota 2 has a little bit more of a strategic vibe to it?
I wouldn't actually say that. Okay. I would say the difference that I would say between them is that Dota is harder as a game, and in League of Legends there are harder characters.
I got you.
So there's a lot of like finicky character designs in League, or like unique in the sense that like that this character is built around this, whereas in Dota there's a lot more active items which you can buy with like an active equipment, which there's like a passive stats increase or whatever.
Okay.
And
I got you. So what you're saying is Dota has more of like a Counter-Strike equipment system where you're buying it for the round to set your character up kind of deal, right?
Yeah, it kind of. I mean, like you're not buying it. Obviously, like each game is just.
You're right. That's okay.
Yeah, but I would say item decisions matter more in Dota.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. The entire genre is strategic, obviously, and takes teamwork more than most multiplayer games, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But it seems like, especially with your turning around example and your casting example, it seems like Dota is even more strategic, and League is more arcadey almost.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say League is more arcadey. The damage in League is a little bit more crazy, and the crowd control in Dota is more crazy. Like you can stun someone for a very long time in Dota, whereas in League the stuns are like all short, but the damage from them is great. So they both have their pluses and minuses. But then there's a reason why they're both around still right after a decade. But yeah, no, I mean, but that's basically my esports journey. I do play Magic the Gathering competitive counts.
Hey.
That's the only one I'm actually good at.
We love Magic around here, except for Anre. Maybe one day we'll get him to play a game. I don't know.
Yeah.
One day I'll record you two playing.
Oh, okay.
That'll be what I want.
That's a deal. Okay. Yeah. We can settle, I guess.
Loser goes to the Shadow Realm.
Well, this is Yu-Gi-Oh. This isn't Yu-Gi-Oh, man.
No, the Shadow Realm has so many people, man. Basketball players, football players.
Oh, okay.
The Shadow Realm takes all, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so Peter, I heard your journey, and right now you're at LOL with League of Legends, which is a lot of people's favorite esport. It's huge. There was an event recently, maybe you know what it was, bigger than the Super Bowl. I heard.
Worlds might have been watched by more people than the Super Bowl. I think it's certainly
insane.
Yeah. Now, it's worth noting that the unfair advantage that League of Legends has over the Super Bowl is that League of Legends is big in China. And I don't know if you've heard, but China's got some people there.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True.
Couple bill.
Yeah. So.
And I understand that completely, and I'm not like taking away from the Super Bowl. Good for you, 100,000 Americans. But I'm just saying it's a pretty. When I heard that, it kind of blew my mind. And I know there's a lot of people in China, there's a lot of people all over the world, but that for a video game event to be that big that I could even see an article headline saying more viewers than the Super Bowl, it just kind of made me feel like, well, we're here finally. Video games are important.
What I didn't know until I would say I was, 28, was that the little game where they kick the ball around, soccer. The World Cup has more viewers than the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl is empirically better. So sometimes people just watch stuff, man. What can you do?
Well, so anyway, that being said, LOL is where you're at right now. It's what you're playing because that's where your friends are. But what is your favorite esport? What's your favorite esport to play? What's your favorite to watch?
Okay, well, that's so getting on the levels of esports that I mentioned getting to early. That I'll get to earlier. Sorry, I know you just asked a different question. But
it's connected.
As far as playing, I think probably Dota. I've had some really fun games with like casual teams where you would like practice and enter these amateur tournaments. Had a couple decent runs and ran into pro teams and got absolutely obliterated. But we beat the other amateur teams to get our chance to get obliterated.
Your chance at glory.
It's having gotten to play against professional teams. I got to play against professional players in Halo, right? I was high enough rating to get matched up against them. The difference when playing against a team is just it's unbelievable.
It's
how coordinated
night and day.
They are. Yeah, it is crazy.
You don't want it.
It's like you're just worse at everything. There's nothing you do better than them. They are better coordinated. They have better mechanics. They have better map awareness. It's just, there's nothing you can. You
have to practice for it. I really believe that. You have to have a team that's dedicated to working and learning each other and working together to get better together. And if you're not willing, and it takes hours, it takes time. You cannot just say, hey guys, we're really good at Halo. Let's go make a team and go get on MLG. It doesn't work. It doesn't. You have to spend the hours practicing, training together. Yeah.
As far as watching, actually, my favorite thing to watch is Super Smash Bros. Melee. So if you don't know, Super Smash Bros. Melee is probably the most technical fighting game of all. And by probably, I mean it's...
Anre has to disagree.
Technical. It's definitely the most technical. Anre loves Street Fighter Alpha 3, Alpha Third Strike.
Why is it the most...
I know you weren't saying it's the best. That's obviously Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Okay, but...
Not to be confused with Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Those are different.
Okay.
So why is it the most technical? What makes it...
Because of the level of input that you have to put in. There's a lot of... I don't know if you call them glitches or
Nintendo would.
Game engine, like the ways that the game engine works with the physics engine that enable these movement options that are hard to do mechanically. And there's you'll see frame perfect inputs all the time in a melee match. It's very fast paced. If you've ever played Super Smash Bros. Melee, and then you go and watch competitive Smash, it is a different game.
It's crazy.
It's a completely different game.
And also we should mention that it makes it even more technical that this game has to be played using that garbage Nightmare Fuel style controller, that fever dream that somehow got past R&D and got developed. So everything
I don't know about that. Like, what do you mean? All you need is that big green A button, bro. Like, and then the little B button every once in a while, right?
Yeah. All the stuff he's talking about is made at least 5 times harder by the fact that you have to use that abomination.
Yeah, but it's a very fun game to watch if you understand how good they are. But like if you okay, how to wave dash is basically you jump, and while you're in like the early frames of the jump, you air dodge into the ground, and then you slide along the ground. Which
I've seen that. Okay,
yeah, it enables you to approach using more than just a dash attack or a grab. And it allows you to, position differently and that kind of thing. And you can also jump cancel some moves like Shine. And so basically, if you're like a common thing you'll see from top Fox players in Melee is wave shining.
My boy.
Which means they shine, they jump out of the shine, which has like a reasonable window. It's like reasonable. It's possible to mess up. Shine. Then they wave dash out of that jump. And onto like with the correct distance to where the person got pushed from the shine, and then shine again, basically. So you're looking at
it's a lot of cancels, right? Is basically what's happening. They're canceling. Yeah. You start initiating something, canceling out, initiating something, so that they're faking. They're basically faking out every movement that they're doing until they can't fake out anymore.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. They're
it's interesting.
Canceling movements that the game ordinarily would be like, oh, you shined, you're stuck in shine for a bit. But if you just go and shine, you don't immediately jump back. You can see that you're actually stuck and can't jump. Like after a certain time, you get locked, basically.
Okay, yeah.
I recently saw a video about Smash Brothers, and it was about like a special wave dash that only 2 characters in Melee can do. Was that what you were talking about, or were you talking about something else?
He's talking about something else.
I was talking about something else. Oh. Basically, wave shining is combining the down B of Fox and Falco with a shine. The only special.
I think that's what I was talking about there.
Yeah,
the only 2 characters can do it, and I remember watching that video. I was like, oh, okay. And I remember Fox was one of them. I remember the other one. I think.
Falco. Yeah. So it's not. It's kind of a special wave dash, but it's more of just combining wave dash with an ability. Right. There actually is a special wave dash, which is not actually a wave dash that only Samus can do, called the Super Wave Dash, because it will send you across the entirety of Final Destination. But it requires multiple frame perfect input. So it's not exactly used very often, and Samus isn't that good of a character. But it's just it's really fun to see how good the top players are. But a lot of times when I'm watching an esport that I play, like whether it was Halo or Starcraft or Dota 2 or League, I would be watching and be like, I want to go play. When I'm watching Super Smash Brothers, I'm just like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah. You just made me feel really good about not going to play that game. Yeah. Question, though. Call me ignorant, because I did not play Brawl. It was Brawl, right? Yeah. That was the Wii one. I did not have a Nintendo Wii. That's one of the only I think the only Nintendo system I've never owned. And I just made a conscious decision that I did not need this console. And so I did not play Brawl. That was the Wii one, right? Okay. Yeah. So I did play the crap out of Melee, and I've been playing Ultimate for the Switch. And I feel like, and now I did play a little bit of Brawl, but I feel like Ultimate reminds me heavily of Melee. Am I wrong in that assumption?
It's certainly more Melee-like than Brawl or Smash 4.
Okay.
There is, however, still intentional lag they put in, like 6 frames or something, of like you press the button and then 6 frames later, the ability comes out.
Okay.
Right?
So wait, the baseline for any move is at least 6 frames of lag.
I guess it depends.
It's at least 6 frames. Every move is at least 6 frames.
Basically, yeah. Wow. So Sakurai, the guy who makes Super Smash Brothers, basically hates the fact that Nintendo is like the weirdest company. They like hate that games are played competitively, and he like hated that Smash was played, especially Melee was played competitively, which is why Brawl was like such a change of pace from Melee. Why there was you could just randomly. Yeah, it was
everything that makes Brawl or Melee. No, Brawl was the one you're talking. Everything that makes Brawl was a mistake. Right?
No,
like, Melee. Yeah, Melee was a mistake.
Yeah, a mistake, or just like the way that
the unintended consequences made it competitive.
Yes.
And they did not want that.
They did not want that. Sakurai just wanted it to be a casual, which is it's just so strange because it can be both, right? Like if you
most fighting games are.
Yeah, I mean that's how it works, and I just it's certainly an interesting decision that's made, but I don't think Melee's ever going to die because it's got too much of a dedicated community now. They actually made online play. Some guy developed a mod that lets you play it online on your computer.
Wow.
And Nintendo is looking for that motherfucker, right?
They are. It's called Project. It's called Project Slippy.
Hey, man, they got Soulja Boy. They're gonna get your ass too, man. All right, I promise you. I promise you.
You better go to ground. Yeah. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the difference between because a lot of like Street Fighter fighters, or Tekken fighters, they might have a favorite game. Like I love Tekken 5, and then Tekken 6 comes out. They take a little while to learn it, but they're like, okay, I might like 5 more, but I'll go to 6 because that's the newness and that's what everybody's playing. But if you're a Smash player, a Melee, right? You're a Smash Melee player. These new games come out and they just intentionally make it non-competitive. And with this latest one, you're talking about everything has a baseline of every move has a baseline of 6 frames per second.
Right.
Then the community is just going to be like, you know what? I'll just go back. I'm not. That's basically what's happening, right? They only play competitively. They only play Melee.
So basically, the competitive Smash scene, other than like a few minor tournaments that like SmashCon happens. That's like, oh, everything has a tournament at SmashCon. That's like what it is, right? It's like a Smash tournament for everything. But as far as like regular tournaments, basically Melee and whatever the newest Smash game is.
SmashCon not to be confused with the porn.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So basically, the newest game will get played by people who play the newest game. And Melee.
It seems like it because that is popular. I do see that streamed a lot. Ultimate, even though it's not people's favorite, it seems like for competitive play, it's the newest one, so they're going to play it and they're going to play it competitively.
That's what it is, and I know the Street Fighter community does not like Street Fighter 5, because it's like too easy, basically. And the example that they gave is, so I don't know, have you guys seen Evo Moment 37, the Daigo parry?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I have, no. Okay, what is that?
Give me a quick recap. I love this. I remember when I first saw it. I think it was so long ago that I had to download it.
Yeah. It's so basically it was at like Evo 2006. Daigo, who's like the best player from Japan, was playing Justin Wong, who's the best player from America. And Daigo has a sliver of health. Like, you can't even see it. So Justin Wong does Chun-Li's super at it. And you can't block or you'll take chip damage.
Okay.
So he full parries the 15-hit super.
Wow.
Which is, not like a frame perfect, but it's like a very small frame window on every hit and into comboing and killing it.
I think I have seen that. Now that yeah. And so the example that I saw, which was like a video basically complaining about Street Fighter 5, is like how you could just mash and parry. And he's like, would this moment be, he like showed his hands, right? It's like, would this moment be impressive if all he had to do was just like mash buttons to do it? Right? And the answer is no. Right? You lose the impressiveness of it, and it kind of creates more variance, which obviously pros aren't going to like.
because they want their skill to be the reason why they're winning. They want getting better to have you get more wins, basically.
That's why melee players don't play with weapons, correct?
Right.
Like
items. Yeah.
If you ask, hey, are we playing with items? If you even ask that question, you got to leave. Yeah. You got to go home.
You got to even ask that question. Nintendo didn't want it played competitively.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, it's fine to play it casually too, right?
It's fun to play with items with people that. I've noticed that it's fun to play with items with people that know what the items are. If you're playing with people that have never played Smash Brothers before and you're like, I'm going to get the bomb before you, it's not fun, because then they're like, all right, well, I'm just getting blown up and throw. So it's fun as a little party style to mix it up with items. But if you're going to play it real for the wins, you play without items. Yeah.
Right. You want to. The idea is that you want your matches to be as much of an expression of skill as possible, and but at the same time you also don't want it to be literally chess, right? Because in chess the best player just wins almost every time, right? Especially like over enough like time and like enough series of matches, right? So the idea is that like you want there to be a level of variance that's minor, which can just be like,
the different characters.
Yeah, or you're guessing, or just like, okay, you're in a 50-50 situation with your opponent and you guess you guess what they're going to do. That's a read, right?
I love a good 50-50.
Yeah. But, that's what I'm saying is like, there's that level of play that's acceptable. The level of variance that's like, oh, okay, this item spawned on top of him, so now I lose. Like.
Yeah, true.
I was playing a good game until the game just decided to give him that.
Yeah, I noticed that about Ultimate. Yeah. Ultimate, you get these ultimate abilities, right? And it's based off this coin that just starts randomly and one person hits it and then it shoots. So any person could, even if you get to it first, you probably aren't getting it, because if you get to it first, you're probably putting more damage on it, and all someone needs to do is breathe on it with their last bit of desperate breath, and they're gonna get their ultimate and kill you. So I get you.
You lose like that, and that's when you put Tekken in.
Oh, okay.
That's how that happens.
Yeah, and that's the I think there's a balance between what competitive gamers want, casual gamers want, that I think is pretty easily achieved with option, and without like trying to force it into being a casual game. But we could do an entire episode on how
That's true. So next up, I wanted to ask you. This I thought would be a really fun question. Anre, you can answer too if you got one in mind. If any esport could become a real, tangible, physical thing that is played, not just something that's played in a virtual space, what game would you like it to be? It could be Magic. It could be Fireballs. It's real now. We're playing it. It's the biggest sport ever. No longer an esport.
An esport that is now real.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Some of these games, the characters' backstories are pretty terrifying. I
don't know. You feel bad rooting for a guy who had his entire family murdered.
Yeah, or literal demons and stuff. So
that's tough.
Well, I don't think what I'm trying to say is I don't think it would be like not saying it's like the exact characters, but like
at the same time, I don't want to watch like a real life Counter-Strike Go where people are just shooting at people, even if they get the respawn. Like I don't want to see 18 headshots a match.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I mean, we can go Street Fighter. That one's solid. Nothing too bad. Just people can now spin in the air and shoot fireballs.
Okay, so it's MMA, but there's a little bit of magic to it. Okay,
I like that.
Okay,
I don't think the MOBAs are good because there's too many things that would get unleashed upon the world.
Yeah, watch your lane, man. Watch. How many times have I told you? Jungle your lane. What do you got on?
I mean, Pokemon's play competitively, right? So if we do that, we just
that'd be cool.
Yeah, no, I'm down.
Pokemon tournaments, dude. I want to be the very best.
Let's go Pokemon, but let's remove the fairy type.
Okay, no one's allowed to be a fairy.
No,
Peter.
Yeah.
No Pokemon.
Yeah.
No, they're important, right? They beat the ghosts or something, don't they?
No. Fairy type was introduced to beat Dragon type.
Oh, yeah. Then that should not be a possibility. Nothing should be beating dragons, right?
Well, so the thing is that Dragon type wasn't a problem. The problem was they kept on giving all of these dragons really good movesets and incredible stat line. So like it was like, oh, dragons are too good. Well, yeah, you literally give them too.
You made them too good.
And like the type was very bad offensive, right? It was like only good like as a defensive type. And they basically they made it even worse offensively because Fairy just takes no damage from Dragon. Like
what?
Ghost with fighting, yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just like, oh, so now like Dragon is just like not an offensive type at all. but again, the solution was stop making 600 stat line dragons with good moveset.
True.
Like,
yeah. And instead you made a bunch of little crappy fairies. And,
yeah.
I get you.
Well, that's why they make these mistakes.
Stupid fucking
and then they
fairies.
make a new game and they fix them. They add more mistakes that they didn't really see coming. And every single time this process happens, they make billions of dollars.
Yes, they do. The one constant in this is that Game Freak makes a ton of money.
Yes,
that's the constant.
Yeah. Whether dragons are the new hotness or dragons are down and fairies are up.
Yeah.
Game Freak keeps getting paid.
If you build a Pokemon game, they will come.
How about you, David? What an esports game?
Blitzball, bro. Make that make that a real sport, man. I know it's not an esport.
I would settle for it being an esport, to be honest with you.
Me too, man. Oh, goodness. That's like the best example of what an esport should be. Yeah. It's a sport. It's similar to our sports, right? It's very similar to our sports. It's got a ball. It's got two teams. There's goals. It's like what we got going on right now, but there's a little bit of magic and there's some water. And I think that would be an amazing game. Man, Square Enix, make a competitive Blitzball esports game. We will all play it and root for our favorite people who are better than us.
Is it Rocket League close enough?
No, I mean, did you play Blitzball? Did you play Final Fantasy X's Blitzball?
Briefly, yeah.
So it had the RPG elements. You leveled up your players. You would
right. No, I mean, I understand. I'm just like, Rocket League is, close enough that I feel like if you make a Blitzball game, it has to be different enough from Rocket League to attract an audience, right?
Well, it is because you're not doing the whole physics-based thing. You're not like kicking the ball in a direction.
Sure.
It's different physics, yeah. It's underwater physics, except not real underwater because they move very quickly.
And you're not aiming the ball, like you're making your moves based off. Am I correct in saying that? If I remember correctly, they kind of make their moves. You kind of make their moves off of an assumption. You're trying to read what they're going to do, and then you go, right? It's kind of like, is that how Madden's played right now? Or do you each just take turns, I guess?
No, Madden is basically football, so everything's happening at the same time. Mm-hmm. Blitzball is almost, because Rocket League is everybody's going at the same time. It's basically just soccer and cars. To call Blitzball underwater soccer is close, but then when you get to what you're talking about, there is it is more not more strategic, but there is a level of like turn-based action to it. Mm-hmm. Things move slowly and more methodically, and there is a little bit of like guessing what they're going to do, what you're going to do, and
yeah. So my assumption would be but I mean, you're right. Then how would we like make a game like that, right? That's esports, where you actually have 12 people on a team physically playing this game, and they each have a part to play in the play that's going on. You're right. I mean, yeah, there would be changes, I guess, that had to be made to the game.
They would have to change it even if they were just making a standalone video game, which I would buy. Square Enix. I would buy that game. Just make sure the jet shot is in, and I'm good.
Yeah, so you're right. I guess it would be like 12 person on a team Rocket League, I guess, or 7 people, however many it was, and a little.
What a crazy Rocket League game that would be, by the way.
Yeah. Anyway, Blitzball. So I mean, okay, fine, Peter, you're right, and you're wrong, and you're right, and you're wrong, and we're all right, and we're all right, and we're wrong. And last question here for this segment: what is it going to take to have an entirely virtual Olympics? You know, we have everything we need right now from every type of sport, snow sports, water sports, all these things in the Olympics right now. What do you think we would need to be like a diverse lineup of games for there to be a virtual Olympics where all countries are participating to try and be number one?
Well, so there's already the World Cyber Game, which does similar things. You know, you have teams that are nationality-based teams that are competing. Because, you know, a lot of professional teams in esports are not all of the same nationality. So,
I've never heard of the World Cyber Games.
Yeah, what's this?
How many games are in the World Cyber Games? It's obviously not just like one or two.
Yeah, it's not just one or two. There's usually a reasonable variety of them. So I think to answer your question a different way, you know, what will it take for like an esport to get into the Olympics? You know, and get that. And even then, you're not going to want to play virtually. Lag is a thing. You're still going to want people to gather, right? So they can play on LAN like they do in every major esports event, pre-COVID at least. So I think what it's going to take to get so basically there's 3 esports that I would call the big 3 esports right now, and that's Dota 2, CS:GO, and League of Legends. With no disrespect to any other game, those are the games that have been around for a long time. You know, Counter-Strike has been around for ages. You know, League of Legends is like the newest of them. It's been around over a decade. Basically, those 3 games probably don't have what it takes to get into the Olympics. And so, for different reasons. So, the first is that League of Legends and Dota while they're both huge esports, right? The problem is that you have to play the game in order to even understand what's happening. So
Can confirm.
Yeah, there is no. You cannot be a casual watcher of the game and really appreciate it. You had to have played it before, or play it actively, and because of that, they're bad spectator esports.
Makes sense.
The reason why they're still huge is because they're absolutely enormous games. So it doesn't matter that they're bad spectator esports because they have the player base to keep them as big esports. Counter-Strike is a good spectator esport because if you've played a video game or if you played a shooting video game, you can appreciate how good right? So you can see that, you can see the teamwork, you can see all of that. The issue with Counter-Strike is that the game, 1, it's a violent shooting game, and 2, it's literally terrorists versus terrorists. So that's not the kind of thing that's going to fly with the Olympics, right?
Well, they can rebrand it a little.
Yeah, what if they were monkeys versus dinosaurs?
Right, sure. If they rebrand it,
they wouldn't even need to rebrand it. They could just be like skins, right? Okay,
and they can just call it, you know, they just call it blue, red versus blue, right?
Monkeys versus dinosaurs. Yeah, but I mean,
but regardless, right? That's the problem facing Counter-Strike.
It's very violent, yeah.
And they rebranded, bro. They've been doing this shit forever.
And every other game is either not big enough or hasn't been around, or hasn't been around long enough. So, like, was Fortnite big enough at its peak? Sure, but like, the Olympics isn't going to add Fortnite because Fortnite's going to die, right? Like, it's also a terrible.
We can hope.
No, I mean, it's already dying, right? You know, they're not having another Fortnite World Cup of the level that they had. You know, the game is no longer first on Twitch views. It's like way down there. You know, it's, you know.
All right, here's a tough question then. What game, not those 3, obviously, that you think haven't been around long enough but has a chance because of other factors, other elements?
So the answer is I don't know if there is one right now. Because to get into the Olympics, you're talking about it has to be big enough for like the crusty old heads to
Right. So real quick, what I was thinking, even before you said it, was Fortnite, right? But then you just told me that it's dying. That may not get, that game may not be around for the Olympics, even if
it's not that it's dying. It's that it's relatively dying. It's no longer just like the biggest game in the world. It's also a terrible spectator sport. So I guess the game. A game that I think could do it would be Starcraft 2. Now, not like actually Starcraft 2, but Starcraft 3. Let's say Starcraft 3. So Starcraft 2 is actually a good spectator esport because you don't really have to understand what's happening to understand how impressive it is, or to like you don't have to know what they're doing in order to see what's.
They're building armies. They're trying to destroy one another faster than the other person. That's it.
Right, and you can see the. You can be like, hey, it's one person controlling all these units. You can see how impressive that is whenever they're micro. You understand that, right? You don't have to play football to understand how impressive it is. Aaron Rodgers throws a 45-yard dime to a receiver, right? Because you can see how impressive that is. So it has the combination of being impressive and not being like it's violent. It's still war, right? But it's like it's not like shooting people in the head and having blood happen, right? It's a human race versus alien race, right? So it's not that bad. It's easy to see what's happening. It's to appreciate what's impressive from players.
Unless you're terrain against terrain. Terran versus Terran.
Sure, but like it's still easy to see, right?
Yeah.
Like what's impressive from people.
I think, like you said, you're not seeing someone directly get shot in the head. Yeah, you're seeing units die, but you can think of it as a war strategy sim. The way that great commanders would have done back in the day with just little wooden pieces and say, hey, we're marching. This is going to be the strategy. Oh, well, then he's going to take out 3 of these, So same thing. You're seeing some impressive strategists doing things real time to win a war, essentially. And it's crazy how fast some of these people are. I've watched some people play some competitive Starcraft games, and damn, dude, they are crazy how speedily they go across from selecting their units, knowing where they need to go, building this, that, and the next. It's impressive. So, I wouldn't disagree with you. I think that would be a great one to have, or even a game of its caliber, right?
Right. I think a game like that has the best option. StarCraft 2 is not that big. Like it had its like run as like a premier esport, and then like faded away, and like it's still around, right? But it's just not very big. So I guess what it comes down to is you need a game to be as big as Dota or League or CS:GO while being like StarCraft is what you need. Now, it's also possible that money will change hands and League will get... Right? Like, if there's a game that's going to get in, I would actually put money on League of Legends or anything else. But,
I agree.
I think if we're not talking about a game getting so big that the Olympics just can't ignore it anymore, I think the best option would be StarCraft or StarCraft-like game.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Sounds good to me. All right, well, just as a reminder, if everyone is enjoying the show, you can head over to patreon.com/CrownKingMedia and start supporting us for just $1 a month, which gets you a Patreon-exclusive show dubbed The Round Table, where we pick a game to discuss in great detail while also providing our insight into what could make it much better or far worse. It is time to talk about some industry news, and again, we're going to go ahead and start with the main topic that our guest here, Peter, wanted to discuss. MSI 2021 Preview and Power Rankings, according to Hotspawn. In just a week and a half, the mid-season invitational returns to showcase the glory of International League of Legends competition once again. After being on hiatus last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic, MSI will welcome the spring split champions of each region in Iceland. Peter, what does this mean?
Okay, so the way that league system is set up is there's 12 leagues around the world, and the leagues all have some different name that starts with L. The American one is called LCS, which stands for League Championship Series. What's relevant is that there's basically 3.5 relevant regions, and then like some smaller regions.
Okay.
And so all of the best teams are not going to be there because the best teams are basically all in China and Korea, and like 1 or 2 in Europe, and only 1 team from China and 1 team from Korea are there. So it's a nice opportunity for the smaller regions to get to play in an international tournament. But basically, there's 2.5 contenders, and then North America. So basically, there's 2.5 contenders, and then North America is a step below those contenders, and then everyone else is below North America.
Okay.
So 3 tiers.
Yeah. So the favorites are Dame One Gaming, which is 4 out of 5 of the roster that just won Worlds last year. They had their off laner or top laner bought out by a Chinese team, but 4 out of the 5 are back. They're the best team in the world. They just won Worlds. They're probably going to win.
Wow.
They don't have to play against anyone else from Korea, so that's helpful for them.
That's always good.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that either.
They already qualified, so they beat the Korean team.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Royal Never Give Up is the LPL, which is the Chinese representative. They definitely have a chance. They're favored to win their group, obviously. China. It's funny. China basically buys the best Korean players when they can, and North America buys the best European players when they can. So.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah. I suggest a strategy change.
Yeah.
By North America.
Oh, well, actually, fun fact, TSM, which stands for Team Solo Mid, and they bought one of the support who played for the World's runner-up. His name was Sword Art, and they are paying him $6 million. I think it's either over 2 years or $6 million a year over 2 years, to play, and they did not qualify. Not only did they not qualify, they got third.
Wow.
So
check's still coming though.
Yeah. So need to buy.
Sword Art. Shout out to Kitty Toe.
Yeah. Need to buy more players. So the European team was kind of surprised that qualified. Mad Lions. They're they weren't the favorite going in. They weren't even the second favorite, but they won. They've got a lot of younger players, so it's definitely possible that they make a surprise run and could win the whole thing. The actual reigning MSI champion is a European team, G2, that did not qualify. But one player from G2, which the North Americans did buy, named Perks, did qualify. Cloud9, who's the North American representative. I don't think Cloud9 is really a contender. I think they're just levels below definitely the Korean and Chinese teams. But if you're gonna pick a dark horse, I guess you pick them. Their mid laner Perks did win MSI last time that it was played, so he has won it before. He knows it's
got a chance.
Veteran presence maybe, but the other ones are just happy to. If we're honest.
Okay.
It's just the level of competition isn't there for those teams to really make an impact. But that's what happens. Obviously, at the Olympics, whenever the U.S. sends their good basketball team, it's who's playing for second, and that's kind of what's happening here is who's playing for fifth, I guess, for the rest of the teams. I'm not saying upsets couldn't happen. It's actually starts on Thursday. It's the first in-person major event that's going to happen since COVID. So it's kind of big, and
that's a big deal. Yeah. Okay.
It is a big deal.
And it's not Worlds, but it's basically the halfway mark. So it's a very large event. So you'll see if you go to Twitch. Starting on Thursday, League is going to be number 1 by a very long games played. Well, except for just chatting, of course, because.
You gotta be talking to talking to near automatas. All right, next up, according to Dextero, Device leaves Astralis to join NIP in shock move reportedly worth $1 million. It's no secret that Astralis have led a major dip in performances in 2021, stretching back into last year too. But to lose their star player is not what fans would have hoped for. Astralis revealed that the transfer was a, quote, personal request from Device himself, who wanted to work out of Stockholm and still be able to have a team and organization close to him. Peter, why is this news relevant?
Okay, so first of all, NIP stands for Ninjas in Pajamas.
What? Okay, pajamas? Why are they in pajamas? Why ain't they out there, Ninja? And they're sleeping. They're running on walls and sleeping at the same. They're sleep running, sleepwalking, running on walls. Ninjas in pajamas. I like it.
I don't know. I mean, you don't have to sleep in pajamas. Man. You can relax.
That's true.
Hey, I wonder why the bananas were in pajamas, and now I'm wondering the same thing about the ninjas.
Why it's relevant is, first of all, Astralis is the best CSGO team of all time.
Okay.
They have, like, the most recent iteration of Astralis is the most. So, like, NIP is the most successful, if you want, with, like, Counter-Strike team of all time. But Astralis, like, this iteration of Astralis was the best team of all time. They won 4 majors and like so many other tournaments. They basically dominated for the better part of 2 years. Their team was entirely Danish, so 5 players from Denmark. So Astralis leaving for a Swedish team is partially because his girlfriend is Swedish, and so he like lives in Sweden.
I would too.
But part of it is that their results have been dipping. And Device is probably the greatest AWPer of all time. But AWPer stands for
AWP.
Yeah,
it's the sniper rifle, the Magnum sniper rifle, one-hit kill no matter where you hit someone. But
body shot, hit their legs is one.
Okay, body shots. Okay.
Yeah, unless they don't have armor. But why that matters is like he's not like the best player of all time. But you could argue that he's the greatest, similar to how you could do that with Tom Brady in football. So it's definitely a big deal that he is leaving the team because, like, had Device gone to like Astralis management and been like, I want the team to change. He's the last player that was leaving. So it's definitely like a unique situation, an interesting situation, and obviously $1 million transfer. No small amount. So definitely big news in CS:GO. Kind of will leave a little bit of a void, because like Astralis was that team where they were just, this is the team we have to deal with. We have to beat them in order to win, right? Kind of thing. And they haven't been that for a little bit, but now they're, losing their star player. So if they want to, if they want to keep it as an all-Danish team, that really lowers the amount of people who can replace him, too. Is there another Danish AWPer who's good? Probably. Is there another Danish AWPer who can be Device? Almost certainly not.
No.
He would already been
is he the GOAT, right? Is there another GOAT?
Yeah. Most teams don't go from Brett Favre to Eric, even in esports.
Tell you what, I'd be worried if Robin ever lost Batman, man. So I feel the pain that this is bringing right now. So, you got anything to touch on there, Anre?
These guys need to start signing these guys to longer contracts, man. Like, come on, man, lock these guys up, pay them well, lock them up for 4-5 years.
Anre said, put them in a dungeon and don't let them have any kind of social interactions with friends or real life.
Contractually.
Okay. They have to be willing to.
Well,
they have to accept the term. Okay, all right.
Well,
Unlike Cyberpunk 2077 executives, according to Kotaku, Cyberpunk 2077 bosses will reportedly get millions in bonuses. Cyberpunk 2077 has been a profitable disaster for developer CD Projekt Red, recouping its development and costs and pre-orders and earning record-breaking profits for the company. This is despite the game's infamously poor launch state, a lot of which can be chalked up to mismanagement. Management who will nevertheless receive hefty bonuses. A new report by Bloomberg, looking at the company's latest earnings report, details that CEO Marcin Itzwanowski and co-CEO Adam Kociniskui will take home a tidy bonuses of $6.3 million. Each. Cyberpunk director Adam Batowski will get $4.2 million. Meanwhile, quote, some employees told Bloomberg they will receive profit-sharing bonuses of about $5,000 to about $9,000, while other more senior employees said they will get closer to $15,000 or $20,000. Managers and directors will likely receive much bigger bonuses. What do you think?
This just illustrates what, when you're looking at these when you're looking at the news in these games and they release and they're bad, and you see things are just terrible and horrible, and you kind of have to take a step back, especially if you're like a video game enthusiast and you follow the news. You kind of have to take a step back and realize that the horrible and bad and struggling launch and, you know, didn't make as much money as they need. All these things are relative, because the simple fact is that CD Projekt Red's new game, Cyberpunk 2077, is borderline unplayable, or has been borderline playable for the large majority of its life cycle on last-gen consoles like PS4, PS3. I don't think it was released on PS3. PS4, Xbox One, and really most PCs. You need a high-end PC or a next-gen console to play the game effectively, and yet it is still an extremely successful launch. It's still probably, you know, not only charts on PD, but it probably in PD rather. When it came out in the next year, probably was number one. Made millions and millions of dollars. The shareholders made millions and millions of dollars. CD Projekt Red made millions and millions of dollars. These names that David was saying, they are Polish names, so, you know, just for the record. But Adam, the CEO, he made millions and millions of dollars. It is, you know, critically, it is not a success. This is not how they wanted to roll the game out. But we have to take a step back and realize that when the game has this much money into it, this much hype, this many pre-orders, and these many downloads and purchases, that the game is, monetarily at least, a success. And so, you know, I'm not surprised by this.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red over there on that game life, you know, on that Pokemon Sword, which was on,
yeah,
you know, the thing is that this isn't unexpected, right? So what happened here is that The Witcher 3 is what's making this money. Like, the hype for The Witcher 3 and Keanu, good market. Mm-hmm. So, you know, whenever your last game was the colossal success that The Witcher 3 was, your next game is coming out and people are interested in it. And this money is money The Witcher 3. It is not Cyberpunk 2077 that's making them, even though it is literally Cyberpunk 2077, right? So the financial loss of this is not going to be felt on Cyberpunk. It's going to be felt on their next game.
Yeah.
And now the great thing for CD Projekt Red is all they have to do is release another great game, and it won't matter on the next game, right?
Yeah, just make this one work.
Right. Like, you know, so they make Cyberpunk work, right? And then their next game, if their next game is great, it won't matter that Cyberpunk was a.
And adding on to that, if their next game is The Witcher 4, then Witcher 3 fans won't really give a shit what happened with Cyberpunk 2077. Right. Their last game was amazing.
So basically, this is just the reward of success. You know, if Marvel puts out a bad movie, it's still going to make a ton of money because, first of all, we saw that with Iron Man 3, the last bad movie that we put out, last non-amazing Marvel movie. But
between that and Thor: The Dark World, whichever one came out last,
but they both still made a ton of money. And you know, this is their Anre and I, when we talk all the time, we talk about how companies or directors or, you know, producers or anything like that have like a number of misses that we're willing to give them while we're still
sure.
And this is their miss. They earned this miss from Witcher 3. And
it's the only one they can afford right now. So
if they miss again, then they're in trouble.
Yeah.
But as of right now, this one is free.
I'm glad you guys are saying this, and I'm glad you're in agreement with me because I'm tired of hearing shit like this. Like, articles like this make no sense to me. Why does it matter that they're getting bonuses? Like you said, it's success. They're getting the money that they deserve for whatever reason, wherever it's coming from. And I don't know why there are still articles like this that we're seeing. Is it because they still want to put negative connotations on Cyberpunk? Because I've played Cyberpunk. It's a good game. All right? I haven't had any issues, but I am playing on a high-end PC. And I did have to switch to a high-end PC per playing my PS4 Pro because it seemed like it just was not worthy of playing on the PS4 Pro. So I bought it on PC. But it doesn't matter. I got my refund. They gave it to me. Why are people complaining, right? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, two things. Firstly, I want to go back to something Peter said. He said that this success is mainly on the back of The Witcher 3, and I agree with that.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Maybe 60 to 70%. That's where I'm going to. That's exactly where I was going.
Yeah.
People always ask, why are these trailers coming out so early? The game's not due for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. This is why. When CD Projekt Red, when Cyberpunk's first trailer came out, it was just a teaser trailer. If you guys remember, it's like some cops shooting at a girl with these.
It was different, completely different shit. Yeah.
When the reveal and people lost their minds when the reveal came out, with the first gameplay, E3 game of the show, IGN game of the show.
It wasn't the game I expected.
All of these games, all of these outlets, heaps of praise on CD Projekt Red, heaps of hype. You know, that's the game got sold years and years and years in advance because they made great trailers, great demos, and they produced great hype. And this is why it happens. They have most big game studios have a formula of reveal, show, release, with obviously a whole bunch in between that maximizes their money. And the second thing I want to say, to answer your question directly, David, you asked why are people still complaining? Because most people are playing it, unfortunately, on devices that it cannot play.
I can't even believe that they still are anymore. Why? If they are, why are they? It got removed from the PlayStation Store.
They don't have a PS5.
But obviously, even if they did, they couldn't get it from the PS Store right now. It's removed from the PlayStation Store.
Right, but just because they removed it doesn't mean that they turned it in. Right? They didn't have to refund. Right. They didn't have to take the refund. They didn't have to turn the game back in. People could still be struggling with it. They are patching it basically every month now. And so there are people that just have a PS4. Most people who game on consoles right now either have a PS4 or an Xbox One. Most people do not have a PS5 yet. Most people do not have an Xbox, whatever they're calling it, Series X. Part of that is because of the supply constraints, but also part of it is just because those things just came out. So it's not going to have the install base. You know, there are hundreds of millions of these PS4s sold. And so that's where most of them aren't playing on high-end PCs. So I know it sounds like I'm defending both sides, but I really do see both sides. I really do see both sides.
I do too. I do too. But I mean, still, like, If it's really that
Just
bad,
ask
why
your
are you
question.
still playing it? Why are you still playing it? Just stop.
Because it's such
They're
a
addicted.
good game.
They're so addicted.
It's such a
So they
good
want to come.
game.
It's so good. So why am I?
Also-
Okay, good.
Even when
Exactly.
Poppins come out,
Exactly.
guys look like
So why is all this complaining going on? And people are bitching about people getting money they deserve because it's a good. Anyway, yeah, Peter.
complicated issue, man.
Goodness gracious,
If I had a PS4, I could see myself struggling to play it, hating to play it, but still playing it. I
No,
can see that.
you're crazy. I said no. I'm good. I will wait. This will get
You
fixed.
had an alternative.
I had an alternative, but also if I didn't have that alternative, I'd have been like, no. There's other stuff I can play. This game will be amazing when I can play it on a PS5 or something.
I agree with you. I would like to think that's what I would do.
But you don't have enough
know.
self-composure. I understand. Okay, Peter, what do you got, Peter?
So my point was just that we are in a global pandemic, and kind of the only thing that's been releasing has been games.
Yeah.
Like, I understand there's still been some shows coming out, like not on the level that you expect. There's a lot of shows that have been canceled or like they're even delayed.
Movies, man, they've been taking the back seat. Yeah.
Extremely delayed. So you're talking about people who are looking for entertainment, and Cyberpunk was something they were incredibly hyped for. Yeah. So I understand the frustration of people, but it's just there's nothing you can do about it.
I get the psychology you're talking about right now. It's something that they like Anre said. This game has been sold before people even knew what they were getting. So this is a game that they were so excited to get that finally it's here, and they needed it. They wanted to play it, and then it's not up to their expectations.
And you had a PS4. So you had other games. Imagine if you had an Xbox. My God.
No, I know.
You were waiting for years.
So the issue, I get it. The only issue here is the Xbox owners. That's it. That's where the complaints are coming from.
You can't play The Last of Us Part 2. You don't have that.
I get it. These people writing these articles, they're Xbox people. Goodness. Thank you, Anre. I understand. It all makes perfect sense. Goodness. Yeah. All right. And then lastly, The Verge states that next week's Fortnite trial could upend Apple's App Store model. This is huge. Even if Epic loses, in August 2020, a mega publisher for Epic Games decided to stop paying what's dubbed the, quote, Apple tax, a 30% fee on digital purchases made through the iOS App Store. The company added a new feature to its blockbuster game Fortnite, letting users bypass the App Store's payment system to purchase V-Bucks, Fortnite's in-game currency. This move violated Apple's guidelines, and Apple promptly kicked Fortnite off the App Store. Epic sued Apple for antitrust violations, and on Monday, the case will finally go to court. This is crazy. What do you guys think of this?
I hope this shit takes 30 minutes.
What are they going to say? Okay, you hope it takes 30 minutes. What do you want them to say in 30 minutes?
I want them to say, okay, so Apple has a policy that you knew about, and you knew for your entire existence of your company, you knew about Apple's 30% policy.
But you decided to say, fuck you, I'm going to make a backdoor into my system to get direct funds to me. Goodness.
And now that you're all big and bad and you got that Fortnite money, you want to just pretend like you don't have to pay that. Everyone else has to pay it, but you don't have to pay it for some reason. But you still want to release it on iOS devices. Like, get the hell out of here.
So I actually saw here, apparently Apple does cut its 30% commission to 15% for smaller developers.
Okay.
That's nice. That's nice. They are not a smaller developer anymore. But
yeah, they're big.
Yeah.
That's good context.
At least because no one is on the side of either company, right?
True,
no one, and both of these companies are like, we want more money. like honestly, fuck all of you. Like you're making billions of dollars, and you're upset because the number in the tens of billions of dollars you're making isn't slightly higher. You're
missing a 0.0.
Here's why I'm even more upset about Epic, though. Because Apple didn't try to pretend to be, we're little Apple.
Yeah.
They didn't do that, but Epic did.
Yeah.
Epic tried to pretend like, we're just little old Epic, and big bad Apple is trying to stop us. They even put out the
Yeah.
Like a reworked version of the classic Apple commercial where they were going at Windows back in the day, where the woman like tossed the sledgehammer through the door. They did that like in a Fortnite style version.
Yeah.
As if like, okay, so now Apple's the big guy, we're the small guy. I'm like, dude, you broke their laws, their rules blatantly. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. No, it's definitely like,
and you're not small, you're not little, you're not an indie game, you're not freaking Drinkbox Studio.
You're Unreal Engine, bro. You're first and foremost, you're Unreal Engine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
and
crazy.
then you're Fortnite.
It's crazy to me that Epic is. I mean, that's what they're doing, right? They're trying to get the sympathy of the people.
Yes.
But like honestly, like people just don't care. Right, like the thing that people care about is that the only people who care are the people who played Fortnite on their iPhone, who no longer can, right? And that's what it comes down to is like those are the people who are upset. And you know, it's not Apple's fault. Like, you know, I hate Apple.
Not at all.
I absolutely hate Apple as a company. But like, they're not in the wrong here. That, you know, if you don't like it, you cannot be on there. Like that's the charges of their system. And Epic was just upset that they weren't making enough, which, you know, by every way of counting, they were making enough.
They woke up one day and they said, "What? 30%? Why? Oh, just because it's their platform? Fuck them."
Yeah, right.
You know,
I can make an Apple iPhone. I'm going to do it right now. And I'm going to put them in millions of hands across the globe. And it's going to be called Epic Phone. And then Apple could never be on it. I'll charge them 40%.
It's just funny that they were like hating themselves as the little guy.
God, come on.
Could I name 5 development companies bigger than Epic? Yeah, probably. Can I name 10? Probably not.
That'd be hard.
Yeah, like, you know,
not without googling it. If there are 10.
Yeah. I mean, like, so off the top of my head, Valve, Riot, Blizzard, Activision, Blizzard, EA.
Yeah.
Are the only ones I would say that I can say off the top of my head are for sure. You know, is Naughty Dog bigger? Probably, right? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know that I would say that Naughty Dog's huge, but the point I'm getting at is Epic has Unreal Engine, and all of these other developers use Unreal Engine to make their games. That's fucking huge.
Most of them,
So, a lot of them. You got Unity, you got Unreal. There's a couple, and a lot of games also. A lot of developers like to make their own engine for each game they're making. So it just depends. I mean, you got There's different ones, but Unreal Engine is arguably the largest one that most developers tend to use if they're not building their own or using a different one.
Certainly the most famous. Because, I can name exactly one engine, and it's Unreal Engine.
I think I could probably name 5.
Okay.
There's Decima. There's Snowdrop. Frostbite. Unreal Engine.
You guys heard of the
Unreal Engine 2, Unreal Engine 3?
You guys heard of the Apple Engine?
This dude's just making up words to be heard in Frozen.
Neither is Epic.
Frostbite and what was the other one?
Snowdrop.
I think Snowdrop was the Division.
Yeah. Elsa and Anna, you know.
Yeah, Elsa Engine. Icicle.
Okay. All right. So anyway, I mean, like, Apple, we hope you win just because this is blatantly fucking wrong. But good luck, Epic.
The absolute bowling balls on this company.
Man, the balls, man. Yeah, I can't wait to see how this turns out. I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully next episode we can give you guys our opinions on the case once we hear about it. So that being said, I want to give a tip of the crown real quick to the PlayStation. They just shown off a new state of play. It featured Subnautica Below Zero, Among Us, and 15 minutes of brand new Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart gameplay. Now, a big Subnautica fan, we all know here. Below Zero, that's fine, cool. Among Us, that's fine, cool. Really, why? But anyway, Ratchet and Clank gameplay. I don't know if you guys watched this state of play. I am so impressed by this game. I'm blown away. I'm so excited to play it. And I'm not a big Ratchet and Clank fan. And, you know, unfortunately, I didn't get to play the most recent one. I have it. But, you know, I've been trying to get Christy to play it. So I've been like, okay, not playing it. But this game has me excited, not just for playing this Ratchet and Clank title, but for what the capabilities of other games will be able to do because of it. What do you think?
I did see that state of play. I'm very impressed. I mean, this is it's a great showcase for the power of the PS5. It really is. You know, when you say things like 60 frames per second, you really, if you haven't played that games in 30 and then in 60, it's hard to really tell the difference, especially if you're just mainly a console gamer and you're playing games primarily at 30 frames per second, because most developers prioritize fidelity and over frames. That's generally how it is on console. But now with these new ones, they can have their cake and eat it too. For the most part, the ray tracing in this game is beautiful. The particle effects are beautiful. The 60 frames per second, you can see it. I played in Platinum Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank is still free right now on PlayStation for their play at home. Like, please get that. One of their initiatives, the play at home, stay at home. I don't know, but it's free. Please get that. It is an amazing game. I platinumed it. I love it. I remember how, you know, a few years ago, like 2016, I think that game came out, how fast everything felt, how quickly changing the weapons are, how good the weapons are. Again, this is Insomniac. They know how to do this. They do this. They do this for a living. They're very good at it. Ever since the original Ratchet and Clank, all the way to Resistance: Fall of Man, and then they just keep going. Insomniac, but they do such a good job. But I'm looking at this, and obviously Spider-Man. But anyway, just thinking about 60 frames per second and their new weapons. It just I can't wait for it. Watching the video, seeing the ray tracing, seeing the effects.
Dude, the skipping of dimensions things, how instant that is, and it's not just the illusion of it, right? You are loading in one level to the next like that. It's crazy. Yeah. Crazy. I am blown away. We're getting too far into it, but I cannot. I'm so stoked. Man, it just blown my mind. Yeah, go watch it.
What we're saying, watch it.
And then Anre wanted to give a tip of the crown to Lost Soul Aside, and we watched the video on this. Anre, you want to touch more on it?
Yeah. So I didn't know this game existed.
I didn't either. When you showed it to me, I said Final Fantasy. What? Right, what Final Fantasy game is this?
The main character looks a lot like Noctis.
And it's got the blade thingies going on, though, right? Like, the same, like, he's summoning swords or whatever. Like, it's the same. And maybe it's just heavily inspired by that, and that's fine, and that's really cool. But I was thinking maybe, like, Cerberus. You know, I was thinking, is this like Final Fantasy Cerberus, where it's not Vincent, but it's Noctis. He's got his own little action title. But no, it's apparently from a new developer.
Yeah, so apparently it's just like this one guy a long time ago started making this game, and now he has a whole studio behind him. It is
what a story.
It's like watching an anime. I assume soon it'll be like playing an anime. Where you have all these swords, these attacks. It almost reminds me of the newest season of Sword Art Online. It's very good. The main character looks like a cross between Noctis and Dante. Just very anime, but very, very good. It would impress me, and I didn't know about it. So just a small little tip of the crown, because I think you just go watch that trailer. It's like 17 minutes, and the fights are epic. I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, and unlike Cyberpunk, I don't think they'll release this game until it's absolutely perfect, and it looks like it's going to be a stunning, a memorable title for years to come. I'm really looking forward to playing this when it's finished. So go take a look. Lost Soul Aside. So that brings us to the new releases for next week. We have The Colonists on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on May 4th. Dark Knights with Poe and Moonrow. They sound like cool dudes. I'd love to hang with them. On PS4 and Xbox One on May 4th. Demio is PC VR May 6th. High Risers is PC May 6th. You guys know any of these? Blazing Beaks, PS4, Xbox One May 7th. The Invisible Hand. Oh, I'm trying to like cut off my hand here. It's not working.
Wow.
The Invisible Hand PC May 7th. And
yeah, we're gonna cut that. Don't worry about it.
You're gonna cut my hand off so it's invisible? Yes. Yes. And last but surely not least, the only one that we know and are excited about, Resident Evil 8 Village. Round of applause. Okay, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia. That's still a thing. May 7th. Excited for that. Looking forward to it. So, what's on sale right now? On Steam, and not just on Steam. It's also on Switch, PlayStation Store. Maybe it's on Xbox. Doubt it because they don't get shit. Golden Week sale is here, celebrating games from Japan. Notable titles include Nier Automata, Little Nightmares, Death Stranding, Persona 4 Golden, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, Devil May Cry 5, Octopath Traveler, Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Okami HD, Vanquish, Sonic Adventure 2, and various Final Fantasy games. And these are just some of the titles I have played and I highly recommend. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a massive sale with huge discounts and a large selection of titles to choose from. So do yourself a favor, go check it out for yourself. It's going on till May 6th. There's so much on here that I'm like, wow, I'm very impressed by the sale. Have you guys seen the Golden Week sale yet?
So yeah, it's Golden Week in Japan. Obviously, there's a bunch of sales and a bunch of different platforms. I took note of 4 games I wanted to talk about on the PSN. All right. So Soul Calibur 6 Deluxe Edition is 85% off. It's usually $89.99. It is $13.49 right now. That's a pretty good value. I have no idea what's in that above the Soul Calibur, the normal base stuff. Actually, you know what? They have new characters, and one of them is 2B. So sure she's in there. $13.49. You get 2B and you get
or
the rest of Soul Calibur.
That is the question.
I mean, since it's the Deluxe Edition, they might actually even remove Maxi for you. So that'd be nice. I can't confirm that.
We can only hope.
I have to reach out to Namco to see if he's a part of that. Tales of Zestiria, 85% off as well. $8.99 is what it's going to cost you because it's usually $59.99. Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. I love Final Fantasy 12. Yeah. Anytime it is on sale, you should buy it. You should buy it anyway. It's only half off. Usually $50 because it is a PS2 game, remake of a PS2 game. And so it's $24.99. And then for the weebs out there, shout out to David and Zach and the rest of you nerds. Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package. This is a $99.99 value. It's 75% off.
What?
That's $24.99. So with the Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package, you get Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 HD remake. You get Kingdom Hearts 2.8 final chapter prologue. And of course, you get Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, Kingdom Hearts has approximately 27 games. You don't get all of them. You don't get Kingdom Hearts 9.875. You don't get Birth by Sleep.
Chain of Memories. You don't get Birth by Sleep, man. That's a good one. Birth by Sleep was as good. Really, it was as good of a title as a main console title. It was on PSP. I loved it. They could have made that even a port of it, and they could have sold it for $60, in my opinion.
PSP had some really underrated games. Yeah, really good.
Birth by Sleep was amazing. So,
not on this list. Just wanted to say Birth by Sleep.
But how much was it? So, how much did you get for just those main core
Kingdom
titles
Hearts
there?
1.5 and 2.5 HD remix. Kingdom Hearts 2.8 final chapter prologue, and then Kingdom Hearts 3.
And how much does that cost?
Making up numbers at this point.
$24.99.
That's a pretty awesome deal. I'll put money on that. 20. That's good. All right.
Yeah, so, I made a few of those up. Yeah.
Okay. So a couple games that stood out to me. So
yeah, I heard 1, 2, and 3. So we got Peter.
As David mentioned, Dragon Ball FighterZ or Fighterz, however you pronounce it, is 85% off. So $9 for that. It's a quality fighting game. You know, although of course,
and we'll play with you.
That doesn't include DLC characters, probably.
No, but I did notice in the Golden Week sale, real quick, they do have all the characters and they are on sale. So
okay,
yeah, you can buy them.
Okay, so the characters are on
so
sale.
a perfect time. So a perfect time to, if you already do have Dragon Ball FighterZ, to get those extra characters that are super cheap right now. Yep.
Yeah, you can probably even buy Android 21, best character in the game. Continue, please.
Anyways, so another game that I have heard a lot of good things about, I've not personally played, but something I might pick up is Persona 5. It's only 20% off, so it's $48. But I've heard a lot of
worth every penny. Is that Persona 5 Royal or Persona 5
Strikers?
Strikers.
Persona 5 Strikers.
So you like Strikers?
Strikers. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I've heard good things about Persona 5.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's different. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Royal is on sale as well. If you like one of those games, both of those games, you just check them both out. They're different. Persona 5 is the main game. Strikers is a spin-off.
It's like dancing all night.
Right.
But instead you're striking
I have heard good things about Persona, and that is on sale. And then kind of a different game that I'll recommend is Bayonetta. It's 75% off.
Please, hey, real quick. I want to know about Bayonetta, man, because like I've heard good things, and I've been like, oh, should I play Bayonetta? But hearing you say Bayonetta, like, do I need to play this game?
So first of all, it's only
Sell
$5.
me on it.
It's only $5 right now. So
is that on the Switch?
It's on Steam for $5. But it's probably also discounted.
I think it's probably the part of the Golden Week sale.
Right.
We can hope.
So, have you played Devil May Cry?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, it's like a more technical Devil May Cry.
Okay. Sold.
You know,
if I'm not mistaken, Platinum didn't they develop Bayonetta, or is that someone else?
I don't know. I rarely know developers.
Excellent question.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. Continue.
But it's you know, it's very, the thing that I like most about games is that they feel smooth to play, and Bayonetta definitely feels smooth to play.
Okay, cool.
Obviously you need a pro controller because
got him. Got two of them.
Joy-Cons.
That is Platinum Games, yeah. Okay. And I bring that up because David is enjoying Nier Automata, developed by Platinum Games. They know action. Is basically what.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And in that case, yeah, it's a very, very good action game. I would describe it kind of like Devil May Cry, with a slightly more attractive protagonist, I guess.
Slightly. Okay.
Hey man,
I'm a little worried now. If it's only slightly more attractive than Dante, then I don't know what.
That's a pretty good looking dude, man.
You're not wrong. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Ladies love Dante.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Okay. You're not wrong. No.
And let's not forget Trish. You know, Trish is in Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Man, Devil May Cry 5 too. I want to play more Devil May Cry 5. I don't know if you've played any of it, Peter.
I have.
I really enjoyed the beginning parts, but then I lost my PS4, and I have been waiting to get a PS5 to get back into playing it. So I'm a little.
The game is a little bit too easy.
Think so? Okay.
Yeah, I think the action scene is fun. I felt like the reward for getting good was not needed. Basically, you can just, especially with V, you can just honestly have your dog press its paws on the buttons and he'll get to an SSS combo.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good to, all right, good to know.
Yeah. V is a little bit too easy to play.
Too bad it's not like a competitive game. Like I could have my dog win esports for me.
Yeah,
just by putting his paws. Win me money, Jules. Go. Henceforth, you will now be playing as me. You are my persona.
You know, just a game that's easy doesn't mean, right? I still had fun playing the game, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not a
challenging game.
Yeah, if you're looking for a challenge, I would not recommend it.
All right, well, that sums it up for today's episode. If you enjoyed, please like, share, rate, and subscribe. And by the way, I just wanted to let you guys know I flickered the names earlier and with our social media stuff. And Anre, you're Zach, and Peter, you're Anre. So I hope that's okay.
That's cool.
Yeah,
but everyone knows who's who and who's what, because no matter who everyone is or what they want to be, don't forget, we may be Crown King, but everyone's royalty here.
Yes.
Have a good night. I'm gonna go watch some Smash Melee. So I'm like, you got me. I'm ready for it now. I want to go watch.